There is a moment, so small, so fast, that most men completely miss. It happens in less than 4 seconds. No words, no explanation, no second chances, and yet, in that tiny window, a woman's mind quietly decides something about you that is incredibly hard to undo. Not based on your looks, not based on your money, not even based on what you say. It's based on how you touch her, and more specifically, how you hug her. Now here's the part that might hit you a little harder than expected. Most men believe they're doing it right. They think a hug is just a polite gesture, something casual, something that doesn't really matter. But what if I told you that a single hug can either build attraction instantly or silently destroy it before it even has a chance to grow? And the worst part? You won't even know you messed it up. She won't say anything. She'll still smile. She'll still be polite. But something inside her will quietly shift, and suddenly you're not the same in her eyes anymore. That's why today matters, because I'm going to show you something almost no one talks about. Not the obvious stuff, not the generic advice you've heard 100 times, but the subtle psychological details that actually make the difference. You're going to learn the real meaning behind different types of hugs, what they communicate to her subconscious, and why one specific type of hug, the fourth one, can stay in her mind long after you're gone. And once you understand this, you'll never hug the same way again. Because here's the truth most people never say out loud. Women don't fall for what you say. They fall for how you make them feel. And touch, especially a hug, goes straight to that feeling faster than anything else. Before logic, before analysis, before she even realizes what's happening. Her body already knows. So let's start with the biggest mistake, the one almost every man has made at least once, the weak hug. You know exactly what this looks like. You step in, but not fully. Your arms barely wrap around her. Your body keeps distance, almost like there's an invisible barrier between you. Maybe it's one arm, maybe it's quick, maybe it feels cautious, like you're unsure if you should even be there. And that's exactly the problem, because a weak hug doesn't just feel weak physically. It communicates something much deeper. Uncertainty, hesitation, a lack of presence. Her subconscious reads it instantly. He's not sure of himself. And here's the thing. You might be confident. You might be strong, capable, even successful. But in that moment, your body told a completely different story. And her brain? It listens to the body first. Always. It's not something she consciously thinks about. She won't walk away saying, that was a weak hug. But she will walk away feeling something slightly off, something she can't explain. And that feeling becomes your impression. Now let's flip to the other extreme. Because some men hear this and think, okay, I just need to be more intense. So they go too far. The aggressive hug. This one feels strong on the surface, but underneath, it creates the exact opposite effect you want. Too tight, too forceful, holding on too long, or worse, hands that move in ways that don't match the moment. And suddenly, what should feel safe feels intrusive. Instead of presence, she feels pressure. Instead of confidence, she feels control. And her mind immediately asks a silent question. Does he understand boundaries? The moment that question appears, attraction drops. Because safety is not optional, it's foundational. You cannot create attraction if her body doesn't feel safe first. And this is where most men get confused. They think masculinity means being dominant, forceful, overpowering. But real masculine energy is something very different. It's calm, it's grounded. It doesn't need to prove itself. And that's exactly what the right kind of hug communicates. But before we get there, there's one more mistake you need to understand. And this one is even more subtle. The ghost hug. This is the hug where, technically, you're there, but emotionally, you're not. Your arms are around her, but your mind is somewhere else. You're thinking about what to say next. You're distracted. Your body is tense. You end it too quickly, like you're trying to escape the moment. And she feels it instantly, not consciously, but emotionally. It feels empty, like she didn't really matter in that moment. And here's why this one is so dangerous. Because it's not obvious. There's no clear mistake happening. But the absence of presence is loud. And humans, especially women, are incredibly sensitive to emotional presence. You can't fake it. You can't simulate it. You're either there or you're not. Now here's where everything changes. Because once you remove these mistakes, what's left is something powerful. The hug that actually creates connection. The one that makes her feel something she won't forget. The real, grounded, masculine hug. And it starts before you even touch her. It starts with how you enter the moment. You don't hesitate. You don't overthink. You simply decide and move. Your body is stable. Your feet are grounded. Your energy is calm. You step in fully, chest to chest, not aggressively, not forcefully, just naturally. One hand rests between her shoulder blades. The other settles gently at the middle of her back. There's pressure, but it's balanced, not weak, not overwhelming, just enough to say, I'm here. And then, something most men forget completely. You breathe. That sounds simple, but it changes everything. Because when you breathe, your body relaxes. And relaxation is contagious. Her body picks up on it immediately. Her breathing slows. Her shoulders soften. Her nervous system shifts. And suddenly, the hug becomes more than physical contact. It becomes an experience. Now here's the detail that separates average from unforgettable. Timing. Most men either rush it or drag it too long. But there's a sweet spot, about 2 to 4 seconds. Just enough for her body to register the moment. Just enough for her to feel your presence. Not so short that it feels dismissive. Not so long that it becomes uncomfortable. And then you end it. Not abruptly, not awkwardly, smoothly. Your hands release naturally. Maybe there's a slight slide down her arms as you step back. You look at her. Relaxed eye contact, a calm smile, no rush, no need to fill the silence, because the moment already said everything. And here's what most men don't realize. That hug, it lingers, not physically, emotionally. She might not talk about it. She might not even fully understand why it stood out. But later, when she thinks about you, that feeling comes back. And that's what makes you memorable. Not what you said, not what you wore, not what you tried to impress her with, but how you made her feel in a moment that required no words at all. Now here's where it gets even more interesting, because the hug itself is powerful. But what comes after the hug? That's where attraction either grows or fades. And this is where most men lose the advantage they just created. They get the moment right, but then they ruin it by overcompensating, talking too much, trying too hard, breaking the emotional rhythm, instead of letting the moment breathe, instead of trusting the connection they just created. You see, attraction doesn't grow from intensity. It grows from consistency, from subtle, repeated signals that say, I am present, I am grounded, I am not trying to be something I'm not. And that's rare. That's what stands out. Because most people are performing. They're trying to impress, trying to say the right thing, trying to act a certain way. But the man who understands presence, he doesn't chase the moment. He creates it. And that starts with something as simple and as overlooked as a hug. Now imagine this. 2 men meet the same woman. One gives a quick, polite, forgettable hug. The other gives a grounded, calm, intentional hug. Same woman, same situation, completely different outcome. And she won't even be able to explain why. She'll just say something like, I don't know, there's just something different about him. That something, it's not magic. It's awareness. It's understanding how small moments create big emotional shifts. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Because now you know, every interaction matters. Every touch communicates something. Every moment is either building connection or quietly breaking it. So the next time you hug a woman, don't rush it. Don't overthink it. Just be there, fully. Because in a world where most people are distracted, disconnected, and rushing through everything, presence is rare, and rare is attractive. And if you can give her that feeling, even for a few seconds, she won't forget you. Not because you tried harder than everyone else, but because for once, you didn't have to try at all.